In this video, I want to talk about the different business models you can make a living on or a side hustle on Amazon today. Waseem here from Passive Income University, and to create the life you want, learn how to create passive income online, grow your knowledge, and earn your freedom by subscribing. Click the notification bell below. In this semester, we're going to look at 7 different ways you can create a business just by using Amazon. And I'm going to include a bonus on there as well. This one you might have heard of before, but you've not seen it done this way. So stay tuned. Now, before we go ahead, I would just need you to understand that there are 2 ways of actually fulfilling orders when using Amazon. First is by using their powerhouse of fulfillment centers, and that's what we call Amazon FBA. So that's called Fulfilled by Amazon. And the second way is, in short abbreviation, they call it MF, which is Merchant Fulfilled. And that's where you fulfill the orders yourself through your own logistics, whether that's Royal Mail in the UK or if it's like the American Postal Service. The first way you can actually make money on Amazon is something called retail arbitrage, or in short, RA. Now, this is basically where you purchase your goods from a physical store. This also includes your big mega stores or your superstores, as well as your local charity shops. Now what you do is you purchase the goods from that store, take the item home, and get it packed up. But usually, if it has a label or anything else on there, you get those removed first. And then you make a listing on Amazon and you either fulfill it yourself, or the best way is to actually send those goods into Amazon's warehouse. Now, when wanting to use Amazon FBA, the main advantages to this are faster shipping for your customers, because they will end up using their Prime service, and usually it would mean receiving the item the next day, depending on what time they've actually ordered it. The other benefit to the Amazon FBA system is actually the returns process for the customers. The ease that Amazon actually allow the customers to return the goods is a massive advantage for them. It might not be for the seller, but for the actual customer, it instills confidence. The other benefit to the Amazon FBA system is actually potentially reaching more customers just by using Amazon's network. Now, the things to consider when using the Amazon FBA system is something called long-term storage fees, LTSF for short. Now, this happens twice a year, usually in February and August, and this is actually a cleanup of the inventory in Amazon's fulfillment network. And basically what they're trying to do is any form of dead stock, something that is not shifting, they then start charging a fee for it. Now, this is usually calculated in cubic foot. Now, there are ways that you can actually avoid these fees, but it's still some work involved in getting that done. The next model that we're going to look at is a twist on the retail arbitrage model that we just spoke about previously. This is called online arbitrage. This is when you actually order the goods online instead of physically traveling to a store. Now, the benefit to this is you've actually got a whole wider network to look at rather than looking within your local vicinity, even if that's between 5 and 10 miles. Now, on retail arbitrage, the previous model we were looking at, you would have to consider looking at other costs as well. That includes travel and, most importantly, your time. Now, with the online arbitrage model, you would order the goods online, and those would actually be sent to your house or your office, or if you've scaled your business, you can actually send it to a prep center. Now, one thing to bear in mind with this model also is some companies don't actually like to send goods in bulk to a household, knowing that you may actually wanting to sell these goods on. The other thing that you need to consider are some online retailers do not actually like to send to prep centers. Now, the other popular method is merch by Amazon. This is where you actually upload your own designs or designs that you've actually outsourced. Is once these designs have been uploaded, there are no actual inventory costs involved. You don't have to worry about long-term storage fees. You just basically upload these designs. Now, when you first start, you're actually limited to the amount of designs you can actually upload, and you have to keep reaching certain milestones in order to start uploading extra designs in there as well. One of the drawbacks is actually just having to be careful that you're not actually infringing any form of copyrights or trademarks or any form of intellectual property when uploading those designs. By far, one of the other most popular ways of selling on Amazon is actually affiliate marketing. Amazon Associates is actually an affiliate program where website owners or bloggers or even YouTubers actually earn referral fees when they actually recommend a product. And this actually happens when you click through a link and you then actually purchase from Amazon, whether that's the .co.uk site or .com or actually anywhere in the world. One of the reasons this is the most popular way of actually selling on Amazon is because people trust the Amazon brand. Now, when you see your favorite YouTuber actually saying this is what they recommend, and when you click through, there's actually no barrier. When you see that, you see trust. Now, if I recommended another product to you from a different retailer that you weren't aware of, you might actually hesitate in purchasing. Now, one thing to consider is the actual referral fees can actually be quite low. Now, another popular method of selling on Amazon is something called private label. Now, this is where products are manufactured by one company for sale under another company's brand. Now, private label goods are usually available in a wide range of industries, from food to cosmetics to even popular items such as supplements. Now, one thing you need to consider here, it usually involves having high upfront costs. So having to pay for a minimum order quantity, whether you buy those goods from China, whether you get them made within your own country as well. And then other things to consider, if you actually do import these goods from abroad, then you would need to pay some form of import tax. And then there are other fees included as well, such as shipping and then actually sending these goods off to Amazon's fulfillment network unless you decide to actually fulfill it yourself. Other things to consider in private label are actually promoting the goods yourself. Now, compared to the other goods within Amazon's inventory or within their catalog, Amazon private label goods usually would need a bit of a push. Now, some people actually give away their products initially, or some use something called PPC or Amazon PPC. So this is an advertising method where you pay for each click someone clicks on your advert that you place on Amazon's website. Now, Amazon would usually choose where to put these adverts, but every time somebody clicks through, even if they don't purchase, you would actually still be charged for that click. But if done properly, that could convert. Which brings me to my next part, which on private label is you would actually have to create your own listings and make sure that they are fully optimized. Major benefits could be that if you have a hot product and it's selling, your margins can actually be quite good, but this all depends on how much you've actually put up front in terms of your initial costs, compared to how much you've sold it for, and then keeping the profit. Now, another method of selling on Amazon is actual Kindle publishing. So this is where you actually self-publish ebooks or paperbacks for free with Kindle's direct publishing network. This way you can actually reach millions of readers on Amazon, and you actually can get to market fast. So publishing can sometimes take less than 5 minutes, and your book appears on the Kindle stores literally worldwide within 24 to 48 hours. One of the things to consider when making an ebook is having to put the time in actually writing it and making sure that the content is actually quite strong. But in terms of passive income, it's still really good because you could just keep it uploaded and you could see sales coming in either every day or every month or a little surprise here and there. Now this is one of the Amazon selling methods that I've been most looking forward to, and that is Amazon dropshipping. Now this particular method is different to all the others, more importantly compared to the arbitrage models. Whereas you had to go and purchase those products first, with the Amazon dropshipping method, you don't have to. You actually list the items beforehand, and only when they sell do you then order the actual products. So one of the things to consider here is you actually order the product and then you send it to the customer directly. Now this gets rid of the middleman. This doesn't involve you actually packing the products yourself and then sending them in to an actual fulfillment center or even sending them via the postal service. Now with this particular model, you actually use a listing service. Now with these listing services, not only do they help you actually list a product from one of these retailers, they actually help keep your stock in check as well. Now what happens usually is they check the stock quantity on the retailer's website anywhere from between 1 to 4 to even 24 hours, and they check that stock and then they pass that information back to your listing to make sure that you're not selling anything that is actually out of stock. Now one thing to bear in mind though is when using these services, the more actual SKUs or products that you want to sell, the higher the membership services are. So for example, selling 100 products might cost you $25 or £25. If you then wanted to sell 30,000 products, it could cost anywhere between £1,000 to £1,500 or even more in some cases, depending on who you use. Now I mentioned at the beginning of the video that there was one method of Amazon dropshipping that you weren't aware of. Now some of you are thinking, hang on, what are you actually talking about? There is no other way of dropshipping on Amazon. Basically, you use a software service to list those products and then you fulfill the order. This way is slightly different. Now with this model, it's the exact same thing. You actually order the product from the retailer and you send it to the customer directly. But it's different in the way that it's set up. Now how it's done is you actually use a extractor or software, or you pay for a one-off service where they actually extract information from the website. Now this could be the title, the description, the price, the quantity, and any other types of information that you feel is appropriate for your listing, or even just to keep that information with yourself. Now this extraction, depending on how much information you want extracted and how many products information you want, it all depends on time. So for example, if you did it once a day, it could take, depending on how many products, it could take several hours for that extraction to be completed. Whereas in the previous model of dropshipping, you were actually paying somebody else to do that extraction for you even more regularly, but it comes at a cost. Now with this method, you pay that service fee once. Yes, you heard me, once. Now it's not as easy as that. There is actually some work involved. What you need to be doing is getting this software, extracting that information yourself, then what you're left with are several thousand lines of Excel. You then need to convert that information and put it into a format that Amazon can understand. Now Amazon actually provides you with these templates, but it's actually getting that information and then transferring it over into that file. Now don't worry, if you're an Excel whiz, then fine, you can do this yourself. But if you're not, like myself, then you actually outsource this to websites such as Upwork. What you then do is you actually put a listing on there and you get someone to actually do this work for you. Once that's done, there's still a little bit more work involved, and I'll explain this a bit later, but this is one of the ways of getting it done. This is actually my most favorite way of actually getting this done. Because if you can actually put a bit of that work involved, this business can actually become truly passive. Now, when you do it at the beginning and you do it yourself, then yes, there's some learning curves involved. You can actually use a VA either in the Philippines or India or even your home country. It doesn't matter. But you can truly outsource this business that it can actually become a fully passive income. You can actually do this with a lot of these models. You just have to learn the systems yourselves first, and then you can start outsourcing it, and then you can concentrate on what you do best, and that's actually growing your business. Now, if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. We will be looking at the many ways of actually earning a passive income online. And there's still one more method that I have not mentioned to you. Now, this is a different form of Amazon dropshipping, but with a twist. Join me on this journey where you will actually see me start a new Amazon account from scratch and actually use this new service. And I'll see you next time.